Your enemies can teach you self-discipline. Self-discipline, I'm telling you. Oh my goodness. God reminded me of this a couple of weeks ago, maybe a few weeks ago, about the fact of me being in school. I told y'all I got a lot of practice up and down. And it was at a point where I didn't even think I didn't know if I was gonna make it through high school. I didn't even know if I was gonna make it. Them people was bothering me so heavily. I didn't even know what was going on. I didn't even know what warfare was or nothing. It's crazy. And so I learned so much self-discipline. I learned behavior patterns of people, all of that, all because of my enemies. I learned how to not, I mean, I was already a quiet girl, but I learned not to say certain stuff in anger, things like that. A lot of times your enemies can teach you that. You learn self-control, because there was so many times where I could have had a fight and I didn't have a fight, you know. I think I may have had two fights at school, two of them, and that was it through my whole academic time of being in school. And that says a lot, especially with the amount of people that would be up there messing with me, y'all. And it was the devil. It was the devil. When I look back now, I'm like, them were demons. And them kids messing with me, just messing with me, out of nowhere, out of the blue. And if anybody that went to school with me that didn't do it, they'll tell you that, yeah, they was messing with me or whatever, you know. And it was this one time that this girl pushed my head, okay? That was from one fight, because she put her hands on my head. And matter of fact, I gave her 3 chances. She pushed my head that first time. I ain't do nothing. I was like, oh my goodness. Because one thing, I didn't want my teachers to see me fight. The teacher had left out the room though. Then she pushed my head again. I kept sitting there. Then she pushed it that third time, and that was it. That did it for me. And I ended up getting up and fighting that girl. And the teacher walked in, and I was crying. I started crying. I'm like, oh my goodness, I got in trouble. I couldn't believe I got in trouble at school, but I did. I don't believe I got suspended, but we got sent to the office, and I think I got a paddling, my first little paddling or whatever. And that's it was another time where the devil tried that mess again. This was in high school. The first time was in the 5th grade. Well, this bigger girl, the first girl, she was my size. The second girl, she looked kind of like a little linebacker a little bit. She wasn't like real big, but she was tall, and she was like heavy though. And really, it didn't even matter to me. If I got mad enough, I would have fought that girl. But this time, I was like, I'm not finna be up in this classroom fight. I just can't do it. So she pushed my head. And one thing, when by the time I got in high school, I figured out that, okay, I'm finna pray. And so I started praying in my spirit. Then I didn't even realize some of the stuff that I was doing. And the girl left me alone, and next thing you know, I ain't never see her at school no more. I don't know what happened to her. I have no idea. I don't know what happened to that girl. That girl pushed my head, and I was like, Lord, I was mad. And so, yeah, I learned so much self-control being going through that stuff. And it's funny, because when I got in my adult life, God was like, remember what I taught you. Remember what I taught you. And he gave me a vision of me being at school again. So I'm like, okay, all right. Remember what you taught me. And I was being trained then, I feel like. And a lot of people may not see it this way, but the voodoo I was in training when I was in voodoo. When I was under that spell, that was a deep training for me. Yes, it was horrible. I always say that. But listen, that was training too as well. We can go through some horrible situations, y'all, and it all depends really on how we view them, how we look at them. Are they learning experiences, especially when we come out, once we come out of the situation. But I knew when I was in it, I said, if I ever get up out of this, I'm gonna use every single thing that I've learned while up in this situation in my daily life, because that's what I did with everything. Every bad situation, I use it as learning experiences, as learning curves, as whatever I need to use it for. And the good ones as well. The good experiences, we can use those throughout our daily lives. But yeah, ooh, I can't begin to tell y'all how many times I've had to just sit down and be silent and be quiet. And I know y'all, it's hard, but listen, you got to do it though. You'll feel so much better too if you don't say anything, and if you chill and just, pretty much let them say whatever, do whatever. In a lot of cases, like a lot of times, they'll come out looking like a fool. You will accidentally embarrass them by you being quiet, by you not partaking in some of their devices. You will accidentally embarrass them. You don't be trying to embarrass them. You ain't with all of that. You ain't trying to do all of that. You ain't, you just ain't. You love peace. You just minding your business. You just chilling. And that's how the enemy do though. You can be just chilling and the enemy pop up on you and do whatever. And you looking like, what is wrong with you? Why is you? Oh, and I'm so glad, y'all, I learned this stuff. It's better now than never. Because I'd have been like, I didn't know what was wrong with people, y'all. I was like, what is wrong with people? And so now I know. I know what's wrong with people now. And you would think that it would make me like, maybe, certain people not have any empathy. I do. I still love people. And I am way more compassionate. I feel like I have to be more compassionate with people now, because I do know what's going on with people now. So that's another thing. But yes, I avoided so many fights, y'all. That's because God taught me though. He would literally teach me how to avoid fights when I was in school. All right. If you listen to him, he'll tell you. And that's why I told y'all I had a relationship with God back then. I had a relationship with God back then. So we just never know. In some cases, you just never know. And sometimes it's just best to be quiet. But I'm telling y'all, I didn't see that girl no more. I don't know what happened to that girl. But all right. And I still ain't seen her to this day. Okay, guys. Love y'all. Bye.